most important thing was to understand what is the trend of the market in the industry where we want to enter. Since it was woodworking industry, so it was important to understand what is happening in the market. And the best way was to get inputs from, of course, M+V, because they were our partners to get started in India, and then also get inputs from people from the industry. I think meeting people who have spent at least a decade in the industry, they've seen how the industry has evolved. And then, of course, studying your competition, because that gives you an idea about what is happening, what is shaping up, and what is working, what is not working. I think that was one important factor which helped me understand what should be the model for India. Of course, it helps to a certain extent, but there are, again, it depends upon what is your target market. If you want to only look at India, then maybe FTWZ zones could be useful also, but at the same time may not be useful, because it all depends upon the segment of the customers. There are many customers in India who are SMEs who do not even have an IEC code, so they won't be in a condition to, do the import on themselves. They want somebody who does an import, clears the goods, and then they sell it. So, but then if you want, you don't want to clear the goods and safeguard your cash flows. I think that's a good way to do it. But then again, there is a variation in the currency which happens. So it's a double-edged sword, I would say. May be helpful sometime, may not be helpful. Now, if you look at now the currency rates, we deal in euros. Euros has gone up to 101. So that's too high. Earlier, when I started in 2023, it was around 78, 80. So if you look at, it's a huge amount, more than around close to 15% increase in the currency. So if your goods are stored in the freehold zone, imagine the kind of duty you would be paying when you're clearing at this rate. So I think it's a double-edged sword. But yeah, if you're looking at a long-term investment into the market, it's better to have your own warehouse. There are a lot of cheaper warehouses available there's a lot of options. You go to Gujarat, you go to Chennai, there are also avenues in Bangalore also. Like, we found a warehouse in Bangalore which is fitting into our budget. And the best thing is you can bring the goods in, the more number of containers you bring, you can optimize your freight charges, and then it's easy to clear it and put it across, and it's ready to sell. You don't have to wait for clearance and all those stuff. Somebody who's looking to also cater to a market around India, let's say Indian subcontinent. So if you keep the goods in the freehold zone, your customers from Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bhutan can clear the goods and pick it up from there. But if you import it in India and keep it in your warehouse, that's difficult for them. Then it becomes a double taxation for them, double duty. So in that category of customers, if you're serving, then you can basically take a call that maybe some items which are to be moved to those countries can be stored in freehold zones. Rest you can keep it, clear the duty and keep it in the local warehouse. I think this is a very important factor to understand what product you need to put into the market, because SCM has a wide range of product in woodworking, right from joinery, basic machines, manual machines, to semi-automatic, to automated machines, to even complete automated lines. So it was very important to understand what is your target customers, what should be your target product. And of course, India is a market which is highly dynamic market, which is evolving very fast, which has influx of all the players from every market. So your pricing strategy plays, every bit of it is important. How you're bringing your goods. If you're just looking at clearing goods one-to-one, it's going to be costly. So it's better to have, optimize your stocks and then ensure that your turnaround for the stocks are good, so that you can optimize your overall costing. So pricing is of course very important, because end of the day, business means profitability. Profitability is not happening, then it's doesn't make sense. Of course, you need to have probably the periods could be 3 years, 5 years when you hit your first profits. Depends on market to market. Some people can have profits their first year itself. So I think that's a very important part. When I came on board, M+V was hired by SCM, and the benefit was that I didn't have to put my head into that. How are we going to do the invoicing? How are we going to clear the goods? How are we going to, hire the employees? How are we going to pay the salaries? So I had to first focus on gaining my knowledge on the market, build my long-term strategy, and then gradually we started, we first built the team, because we know that the teams could be paid through M&V, could take care of the payroll services and invoicing, and also we could start serving the customers by the the invoicing service given by the M+V. So I think my major headache at the beginning of the business was taken care by M+V, so which was where I could focus on the core things. And then when I was clear on my strategy, then we started the incorporation, where also the M+V played an important part in helping us get incorporated. And then we shifted all our employees into our own company, and now we are getting ready to start invoicing on our own. So I think for any company who's looking to enter India, companies like M+V could be a very good avenue where you can focus on building your knowledge about the market, but at the same time you can have your team, you can start doing some transactions through them. They help you with different aspects of the business.